Mayhem can be integrated with MATLAB's Simulink to create more secure applications. In this example repository, I'm going to show how to do just that. So we can go ahead and jump into the Simulink integration here. And there's a couple of files here. The first one here is this run mcode.sh, and this sort of automates the process for us. There's a couple of things to see here. The first thing is what we're going to do is we have a Simulink model and we want to build it. And this right here is a way to build it automatically over the command line. You can also do that in the MATLAB GUI as well. This happens to be the Simulink model that we want to test. It's a very simple model. It includes one transfer function block. And if you wanted to generate C code on your own using MATLAB Simulink, what you can do is use MATLAB's embedded coder app. Once we have our generated C code, we're going to do a couple things. We're next going to install Mayhem. We're going to compile the code, and then we're going to test the code. And Mayhem is going to generate a suite of tests to ensure that your model or your application is secure. Jumping into a couple other files here, there's a Mayhem file here. And this is going to store the configuration settings for how we want to test our Simulink model. So we're going to test for 90 seconds. We're going to expose a couple of different things that we want to test, including exploitability factors, regression tests, behavior tests, and coverage. And we can go ahead and start that right now. So I'm going to run that file, run mcode.sh, and it's going to start generating that code, compiling it. It's going to put it into a Docker image, and then it's going to upload that to Mayhem servers and ultimately test it. So in order to compile the code, we happen to do that inside of this Docker file. So there's two stages here. So once we have the generated code from MATLAB, we're going to compile it using our compiler of choice, in this case, GCC. And then we're going to take that compiled code and stick it into a Docker image. Additionally, if we jump into this resources folder, another file of interest is this main file here. And what this main file does is it acts as part of a test harness. In order to test our Simulink model, we have to map what Mayhem accepts to what Simulink accepts. And so what we're going to do inside of this file is we're going to map a file input, which is one of the three inputs that Mayhem ports, which happen to be standard in, file, as well as TCP/IP, to what we are using in our Simulink model. So we're simulating a signal that's going to be sent sort of over the wire. And this file will map that. So scrolling down, there's two important functions in this file. This part here, and what this is going to do is it's going to read from a file that is generated by Mayhem as a test case, and it's going to convert that into a signal that Simulink accepts. Secondly, we have this main function here, and it's going to read those input values, convert it to a signal, and it's also going to initialize the model. Once the model is initialized, we're going to send the values that are inside of the file one by one to simulate a signal coming in over the wire. And then finally, when we're done, we're going to terminate the model. to see what was actually tested, we're going to copy this URL. So it looks like our file finished. Putting this into a browser, we can see what happened. So in this case, this application that was being tested doesn't happen to have any vulnerabilities, but we can see what happened. So we can see the test cases that were generated over time, even though it was just a simple transfer function block, there's a lot of unique code paths that we were testing. Jumping down, and we can see it hit a pretty decent code coverage.
Go to mayhem.security and click Get Started. See for yourself how Mayhem can simplify your application security testing today.